Go ahead.
Okay, one thing, one good thing to use rosemary for, sometimes when I go up to see my mom, my sister will cook a chicken, and mother's got rosemary bushes all the way around her house, and she just packs it full, the whole chicken full of rosemary, and puts it on the outside and bakes it for a while. Oh my God, that rosemary chicken is the best chicken you ever ate. Delicious, and it just so easily, and you don't have all kinds of issues because you ate, rosemary chicken. It's just delicious.
Wow, I got to try that. That sounds fantastic.
So you get an organic chicken and cut some rosemary stems, about 4 inches long, leave the little things on, and just, put a bunch of them inside the cavity and lay them on top and put a little olive oil on it so they're kind of stick, and then bake it for a while. And God, that's the best chicken you ever ate.
Wow, I'd add a little. I would be adding a lot of garlic and ginger to that. But that is a wonderful recipe, and one of the reasons why it's really so good in that chicken, because rosemary is used as a digestive for digestive problems. It helps the digestion, and it's used as an expectorant. It helps get the mucus out of the body, and it helps relieve cold symptoms. And it's a relaxing beverage, rosemary, that may be helpful for headaches and low moods. Anyway, take care to preserve the stem with a tight-fitting lid. Excuse me, I'm going to say this again. Take care to preserve the steam, not the stem, the steam of a tight-fitting lid on the preparation process if you're preparing it. But rosemary, one of the great herbs. Interesting as an infusion, making an herbal tea mixed with borax. Is used as is used cold, and is said to make a nice smelling hair wash. When you're infusing rosemary and borax, it makes a nice hair wash that can possibly prevent dandruff. And the thing about rosemary is it does stimulate hair growth. So you might want to rub a little rosemary oil into the head and drink a little bit of rosemary combined with peppermint and so forth. And a variation of for dandruff is to take the rosemary and add peppermint oil in vinegar, and place the sprigs in a bottle that can be tightly sealed, and let it sit for at least a week out of direct sunlight. But anyway, that's an interesting little rosemary formulation. But yeah, good for the hair, right? What do you think?
That's right. It'll work.
Okay, so then when there's Parkinson's, we want to make sure you're getting your calcium and magnesium before bed. 3 calcium and magnesium nice bones tablets before in the evening with your evening meal, because you don't want to be drinking lots of things before bed, because then you're going to be up all night, running to the bathroom. We don't want that. So 2 to 3 hours before bed, let's restrict our liquids, but let's make sure and get half your body weight in ounces of quality liquid throughout the day. We can count tea, we can count some soup, quality liquids can be counted as half your body weight because your body needs that. That kidneys, that liver is asking you, please give me half my body weight in ounces of quality liquids every day. And very few people are actually doing that, and you need to. So the next thing that's listed here under Parkinson's, besides the calcium and magnesium, taking at bedtime, is the potassium. And you can get potassium gluconate, or you can get potassium iodide that also protects you against radiation. So a potassium, you'd be taking one capsule 3 times a day. potassium gluconate or potassium iodide, which also then gives you the potassium. And then the iodide protects you against radiation sickness, because you never know when another Fukushima is going to be let loose, and going to shower people with more radiation. There's already too much going on in radiation, and it's nice to have something that helps you so it deals with the radiation and protects you from it, and it's called potassium iodide. So potassium gluconate or potassium iodide against radiation. Potassium works with sodium to maintain the water balance of the body. And potassium aids in functioning the nerves and the muscles and other functions, including sending oxygen to the brain. That's why it's good for Parkinson's. It's sending oxygen to the brain. And we already talked about 200 milligrams of CoQ10 twice a day, because the studies are now saying that it takes about 400 milligrams to help Parkinson's with CoQ10, not 200 milligrams that we normally use every day, but we really need 200 milligrams of CoQ10 when we're oxygenating the brain. and the potassium is also oxygenating the brain. And this is what we need to do, because we need to help. We need to help with clear thinking. Clear thinking here is where we're headed. Now, by the way, that potassium helps to lower blood pressure, and it can be even used can help people with allergies. And then the CoQ10, it says 1 daily. Well, we're going to change that because the new research is in. It's 2 daily, 1 in the morning, 1 at night, to give you lots of oxygenation for the brain. And another thing I'd be using, and we'll talk about that in a minute, after we get through this report, then we'll talk about hydrogen peroxide, 35%, because that's going to bring oxygen to the body too. And that would be another thing that would be very helpful for Parkinson's, but it's not listed here, but it needs to be, so that gives me another job to do. I need to update this report.
Ship it.
Go ahead.
We can't ship that hydrogen peroxide 35%. It takes a special license to ship that stuff because it's volatile.
Aha. Wow.
Because people have to come to my office to get it. I get it shipped in from the manufacturer. I get, a whole case of it at one time. And then I have to pay, the 35% $35 on the case because it's hazardous, plus the shipping, plus the product because it's just volatile, and I can't ship it. It takes a person with the license to do that, and they monitor everything.
My goodness. Wow.
So you cannot ship it out.
You might have
to go to somebody that got it on the shelf.
Yes. and Brittany has it on the shelf.
Well, she can't ship it.
And she ships it.
Well, she can't because it's a volatile thing and it's dangerous.
Well, we need to have that conversation with her because apparently nobody's told her that, and it is available from her. Maybe she has a license. That's probably the case because but anyway, she has it, and she has it at 2 ounces, pure, unadulterated, for $15 for 2 ounces. Then you got to put it in 3 to 5 ounces of water because you don't just put it directly under your tongue. But she does have it, and it's very inexpensive. So it's $15 for a 2-ounce bottle of the pure.
Well, the best way to take hydrogen peroxide is 45 drops in a gallon of water.
45 drops.
45 drops in a whole gallon of water. I'm telling you, because it's so volatile, it will burn you.
Oh yeah, yeah. So and that's why the instructions are explicit, and it says
Yep.
take and they're taking and there's and Brittany has a periodic dose where she's doing 2 or 3 drops the first week, and let's take a look at that. Let's divert. Let's get out of here. I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to go to the Discoveries in Health tab. I'm going to Common Conditions, and I'm going to go down to, we can go down to breast and all cancer. And breast and all cancer is one of the that uses that type of a product. Let's take a look at that, breast and all cancer. And let's take a look at hydrogen peroxide and what she's doing for the dosage on that. Let's see where, there it is, breast and all cancer.
I use that with cancer patients because it puts oxygen in the bloodstream and that smothers the cancer cells.
Exactly, and I do too. Absolutely right. So here is the breast and all cancer report. I'm waiting for it to come up here, and it's percolating. So it's, there you go, there it is. But in there now is a report about hydrogen peroxide. Well, actually, I don't want to do that report. I want to go out of there. I want to go back, and I want to look at the directions and dosage of how to use it. So I'm going to go down here. Well, am I going to find it there? Maybe I will. Maybe I better click on that. Okay, so I'm clicking on the report, and I'm looking at it. And when I go down in the report, and I'm telling them get rid of the pop-ups, and I'm going down. Where is it? Going down, going down. Wow. You know, the list of things that it helps: allergies, headaches, altitude sickness, herpes simplex, Alzheimer's, herpes zoster, anemia, HIV infection, heart arrhythmia, influenza, asthma, insect bites, bacterial infections, liver cirrhosis, bronchitis, lupus erythematosus, cancer, multiple sclerosis, candida, parasitic infections, cardiovascular disease, Parkinsonism. It's used in Parkinsonism, and it's used in cerebral vascular disease, periodontal disease, chronic pain, prostatitis, diabetes type 2, rheumatoid arthritis, diabetic gangrene, shingles, diabetic retinopathy, sinusitis, digestion problems, sore throat, Epstein-Barr virus, ulcers, emphysema, viral infections, food allergies, warts, fungal infections, yeast infections, gingivitis, to mention just a few of the things that hydrogen peroxide, food grade, 35%. and the reason you want that, because the 35% food grade is used in the production of foods like cheese, eggs, whey containing products. It's also sprayed on foil lining as an aseptic packages containing fruit juice and milk products. Food grade hydrogen peroxide is used. It's the only grade recommended for internal use, and it's available in 2-ounce bottles, or in quarts, gallons, or even drums. But that's a food grade hydrogen peroxide. But let's go take a look at it. Let's go take a look at what the directions or dosages are over here when we go to our store on Health and Herbs. Let's go to Health and Herbs, and let's go take a look at this. And Health and Herbs, where is it? Okay, let's go to peroxide. Let's click on peroxide. E-R, there we go, peroxide's coming up. Let's take a look at how she uses it, because it's different. And now I'm looking at it, and I'm clicking on hydrogen peroxide, and it's found under, if you look on the search engine, it's number 2667, 2667, and it's $15 for a 2-ounce bottle, and then you get a discount off of that because she gives everybody a 15% discount that asks. Be sure and ask for your 15% discount, and and then let's take a look at this, and it tells about dilute this pure hydrogen peroxide in 3 to 5 ounces of water upon rising and at bedtime. And you're taking 1 week, the first week, 3 to 5 drops 2 times a day. Second week, 5 drops 2 times a day. Third week, 10 drops 2 times a day. Fourth week, 15 drops 2 times a day. Fifth to the 10th week, from the 5th week to the 10th week, 20 drops 2 times a day. And finally, on the 11th week to the 16th week, you go 15 drops 2 times a day. And on the 17th week, 10 drops 2 times a day. And after that, if you want to stay on it, which is a good idea, maintenance drops are from 5 to 15 drops 2 times a day. The drop referred to is undiluted, food grade, 35% hydrogen peroxide. And then she gives you, the fact that you may experience some cleansing symptoms, the increased oxygen. You're going to get some cleansing symptoms from the increased oxygen in the body, and it's possible side effects of hydrogen peroxide can be fatigue, nausea, pimples, runny nose, loose stools, headaches. These are the signs that the body's healing itself and releasing toxins. Good idea to take a cleanse at that time, the CAC liquid or the CACT and the Fiber Plus, and do a cleanse so it absorbs all the toxins. And here's some other ideas regarding that. Drink more than half your body weight in ounces. Exercise with fresh air, rest, and a lot of oxygen, and H2O2 baths. And you can also reduce the amount for a few days if you've got some symptoms that are starting to bug you. You can reduce the dose of the symptoms, and they'll go, and then you can work your way back up again. So finally, best taken on an empty stomach, away from food supplements, approximately 30 minutes before a meal or 2 hours after a meal. What do you think, Doc?
Well, sounds good, but that's, pretty heavy doses. If I'm just going to have hydrogen peroxide in 8 ounces of water, I put no more than 3 drops, because that's pretty powerful stuff, and that's what I do.
Yes.
I don't ever hit the body that hard because I don't want to see any side effects from it either. Because we have to be real careful with hydrogen peroxide. They make bombs out of that stuff, and that's why it's a volatile thing. That's why you got to have a special license to ship it out.
Interesting. So
I'm telling you, it's bad. I mean, boy, they will crucify you if they catch you shipping it.
Okay. All right. Well, we're gonna make sure and you might give Brittany a call and have a chat with her, so that
I will do that,
and make sure that she's, because we want to comply, we want to do what the authorities, and there's always these hidden traps that if you don't give them their mafia money, then you can't do it. You can't
Right.
can't do this and you can't do that, and you know they're going to restrict you, especially because it's a natural remedy. They definitely don't want to see that getting out. And this is one of the great ones, isn't it?
Yeah, it's true. Now some of the natural health food stores will sell it, but they get it from the manufacturer through a special shipment, and it's marked all over the box, hazardous material.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you have to pay that $35 hazardous material to even get it in there, plus your shipping. And so a lot of health food stores will have it on shelf. I have it on my shelf, but we can't ship it out. They have to pick it up themselves, you know.
Got it.
So
okay.
I just got 24 bottles in the case myself, you know, 8 ounce bottles or 60 ounce. I don't remember what it was, but I sell it there at the clinic.
Sure. Well, you might check with Brittany. She might have a better deal for you, and also make sure that she knows, you know, if there's any pitfalls that she might fall into, so that she can do what she always does. She complies. She's, you know, we do what we're supposed to do. So yeah, it'd be great if you give her a call maybe after the broadcast or something, or you know, when you can. Okay.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, there it is, folks. Hydrogen peroxide. Doc uses it. Brittany uses it. I use it. You ought to try it because it's going to oxygenate every cell in your body. Right, Doc?
That's right, because it puts oxygen in the cells. That's why it started out cancer, you know, by using hydrogen peroxide. I mean, when I raise baby chickens, I always put about 40 drops in a gallon of water, and they feather out in 2 weeks, and I raise them all the way up to pullet size and never lose a one of them by bacterial infection. Period.
Bingo. See, these are the kinds of things that chicken growers should do and don't do. They put them in little cages and they never see sunlight, and they put them, then they shove chemicals into them, and that's what people are eating.
Well, there's some big producers now that use hydrogen peroxide.
They should.
You know, in their water. You know, they get the farm grade instead of the food grade, and then so they can get a 5-gallon jug of farm grade for about $35. You know, 5 gallons of it, and then they put so many drops in their water, in their drinking water, and they feather out, and they don't get sick and die. And they're starting to use oregano now in their feed. You know, ground up oregano, and put it in their feed, so they don't have to give them antibiotics. There's a lot of the big chicken manufacturers doing that now in the country.
Wow, that's great. Isn't that wonderful that people are finding out about natural remedies so they don't poison everybody with the chemical stuff that they've been putting into the food supply? I love to hear how natural remedies are helping, you know, to eradicate the use of needless chemical drugs.
Well, that's what they do with the organic chickens. You know, that's why they do it that way.
Cool.
When you get an organic chicken from an organic chicken farm, that's what they do.
Great. Yeah, that's great. That's great. Okay. So we talked about hydrogen peroxide, which is good against Parkinson's. And B complex is another thing. Lots of it. I would take 100 milligrams of B complex 3 times a day if there was Parkinson's, because that's going to really help to feed the nervous system. And then there's the B12 and folic acid, where you're taking half a dropper full under the tongue 3 times daily. That's going to really help the brain. And that's what we need to do, is really nourish the brain, feed the brain, stimulate the brain, get things going again. Vitamin B6, you know, extra vitamin B6 is great at 50 milligrams 3 times a day. That also helps the nervous system and the brain. 5-HTP also is used to help the brain. And and glutathione. So at 250 milligrams per capsule, 3 times a day. And phenylalanine for some people works well. But and again, now folks, anytime you're getting on anything you haven't used before, underdose yourself. If it says take 30 drops, take 6 drops. And make sure for 2 or 3 days it agrees with you. Then go right up on the dose and increase the dose till you're getting the maximum effect. And whether it's really helping or not helping. Like phenylalanine isn't for everybody, but it could be helpful. So, and L-tyrosine, especially at bedtime, is going to be valuable. And vitamin C, about 1,000 milligrams 3 times a day, is going to up to 2,000 milligrams 3 times a day, is going to be very rejuvenating to the brain. And if you're not worried about the blood thinning effects of vitamin E, and don't take vitamin E before surgery, because it's a blood thinner. It's a blood thinner, but it also is valuable. Vitamin E is valuable. It's thinning the blood. It's letting the blood get to the brain because it's thinning it out a bit. And vitamin E, about 1 every other day. 400 IUs every other day. Selenium is an anti-cancer herb and also fights off free radicals, and it's a mineral. And 1 tablet daily to fight cancer, to help to prevent cancer, and to help prevent Parkinson's. 1 daily 200 micrograms of selenium every day. Now, those are some things that can be very helpful when there's Parkinson, and that's why we mention them. That's all in the Parkinson report. And also make sure you're getting the correct bacteria in the stomach when there's Parkinson's. When there's Parkinson's, let's make sure you're getting acidophilus powder. And let's do a heavy metal detox. Let's get the heavy metals out of there because those are most likely agitating and causing the Parkinson's and other mental disorders. It's a heavy metal detox. Be sure you're doing that, and maybe some GABA. GABA will put you in a good mood. It's an amino acid, and Parkinson folks that have Parkinson could use some GABA, could use the heavy metal detox, and get that diet. Go on that Make Lifestyle Changes diet, and make sure they have an easy to digest and high nutritional diet that's on the Make Lifestyle Changes report that's listed in the Parkinson's report. And that's basically it. That's basically it, for Parkinson's. But Doc, I've kept you over time. Let's get back to the room and make sure that there's people there. If anybody has a question or a comment or a topic or something that they want to talk about, maybe out there in Georgia, do you have a question? Before we let him go, let's make sure and ask your question out there in Georgia. Your mic is open. What is your question?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes, I am really concerned about severe back pain, shoulder pain, hip pain, and knee pain. And what has been taken is the Boswellia, chromium, the ginger, and turmeric together. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't really relieve the pain as much as one would like. So I want to know, is there anything more superior than that I could take singularly or with a combination of other supplements? to relieve the severe back, shoulder, knee, and hip pain.
Doc, what do you think?
Well, I use my joint support for that because it's got the chondroitin, glucosamine, the MSM, the boswellia, and turmeric, and it's got a whole bunch of stuff in there. Brittany makes it up for me, and I sell it like hotcakes.
Now, should one take more than one or two capsules? Because one doesn't seem to be enough when the pain kicks in all night long.
No, one's not enough. With the joint support, you get quite a few in there in one bottle, and you take 5 of them at one time with 8 ounces of water, and that's good for the day. Okay, or take in the evening, it'll be good for all night because it helps to soothe those joints. It helps to relieve the pain of the joints. It's amazing. I repaired my rotator cuff with magnets and that joint support, and in 3 months I was like brand new, and I didn't have any surgery. My doctor couldn't believe it.
That really
does. Joint support.
Yeah, joint support. And I'm looking at it here on the internet. I'm up here on Doc Miles's website. Doc Miles's website is theherbdoctor.net. Theherbdoctor.net. And I'm looking at this joint support. There's 150 capsules. You take 5 of them at a time, and it's loaded with vitamin C. And each 5 capsules is containing 100 milligrams of vitamin C, 1,000 milligrams of chondroitin sulfate, 1,000 milligrams of glucosamine sulfate. It's got 1,000 milligrams of methylsulfomethane, which is MSM, and it's got 200 milligrams of turmeric, so you're getting more turmeric, and it's got 200 milligrams of boswellia, so you're getting more of that, and more is better. And it's got 50 milligrams of bromelain, which eat more pineapples and get more bromelain. It's got 50 milligrams, and that's it. That's what's in 5 capsules of joint support, that there's 150 capsules in the bottle. So go ahead.
That cost?
What does it cost? It says it costs $44 for 150 capsules.
I suggest if somebody wants to look at it on the internet, call the office and order it, because something is wrong with my website and they're charging, $20, $30, $40 for shipping, and I don't know what's wrong. There's some glitch in there, so. And it'll charge your card that, and I don't know how to get that back, So if you need to order something off the website until I get that fixed, then just call the office and we'll ship it right out.
And the office.
All right, now is that a particular brand?
Yes.
Yeah, it's my own farm.
Go ahead.
What's the brand name?
It's Miles of Texas Nutraceuticals. It's my own formula. And Brittany makes it up. Brittany makes it up for me there in Oregon with all natural, organic stuff.
Okay.
And the phone number is for Doc Miles. Get ready to write that down. Get your pen ready. Okay.
I have it.
All right. 512-868-9867. Doc Miles, Georgetown, Texas. Greatest naturopathic doctor around. 512-868-9867. And if you want to email him, it's Doc Miles, DOCMILES. It's Doc Miles, DOCMILES @outlook.com. You got that okay?
Yes. Now, this is just a temporary reliever. It's not a cure, right?
Well, let me put it this way. Doc Miles used this and it healed up he was going to go to surgery, but he had a rotator cuff that was just ruined and a tear in his shoulder, and he used the joint support, and he used his magnets. A lot of people are calling me back and telling me that those magnets, number one, they're not expensive, and number two, you place one magnet on one side and one magnet on the other side of that, whatever it is, and it gets so much circulation going. Then you're taking that joint support, and 3 months later, he didn't need surgery. Okay?
All right. I'm going to try it.
Okay. Let me know. Come back and let us know, because
I will report it.
All right. That's what we want to make sure. And between Doc Miles and Brittany, we want to comfort you. Can you feel the love?
I can feel it.
All right.
There you go.
All right.
Thank you.
Bless you. And Doc, you've been so wonderful, and you stayed overtime and so forth, just to make sure that we helped one more person, and that's what it's all about. Everybody.
That's right.
Everybody, do you feel the love? So Doc, I know you got to go work. You got work to do, and you stayed overtime and everything. Thank you so much, and we love you. It's Doc Miles out there in Georgetown, Texas. Know that he does blood work. He will tell you things about your blood and what's going on in your body that medical doctors can't tell you. You got to talk to Doc Miles, because he'll help you. And that's and his telephone number again is 512-868-9867. Doc Miles, I love you.
Love you too. You take care, and God bless you, man.
All right. Okay, folks. And thank you again for joining us, Doc Miles. And he'll be back with us next week and helping everybody. So tell your friends. Tell your friends we're doing this. Let them know that there's people that care about them and want to help them and give them some answers and let them know about this broadcast. Wow. So Doc Miles has left the building. And if you have a question, or if you have a topic, something you want to talk about, open your mic, press the star key 2 times. Open your microphone, ask your questions. I'm looking here to see if any microphones are open. I don't see any microphones open. Nobody has any questions. Nobody wants to hear about a certain thing or a certain product. Nobody wants to. Okay, that's all right. In that case, I'm going to go and talk about ulcers. I'm going to talk about ulcers. How do you get rid of ulcers? Well, let's take a look here and see if we can find out how to deal with ulcers here. I'm going to go to common conditions on herbalhealthreview.com and see what they got to say about ulcers. Okay. Let's go down. They don't have an ulcer report, but I know what they use. That's because they don't need one. They don't need an ulcer report when all you've got to do is go over to, let's go take a look here. Herbal Health Review. And look at a formula number 1396. I invented a formula called 1396. And let's go take a look at that formula. There's a liver support formula that Brittany makes. We saw the joint support formula, and here's a liver support formula. But let's go take a look at, what do we say, 1396? Is that what I said? Yeah, 1396. Good memory. 1396. Let's take a look at what is used for ulcers, because that was a question. That was one of the topics. Prophet Elijah said he wanted to know more about. So we'll look at a stomach ulcers herbal formula. Now, here it is. And what does it have in it? It's got cranesbill root, marshmallow root, golden seal root, echinacea root, and poke root. And that is soothing and healing to an ulcer. And again, if there's bleeding, let's use the things we talked about in the Parkinson situation. And that is when there's ulcers and there's bleeding, use shepherd's purse and use what am I thinking of here? We're thinking of ginger. That's what. Ginger for Parkinson's and for ulcers, you would use shepherd's purse along with some ginger root. And that's going to soothe and heal the ulcers and get rid of any bleeding that's going on and also a little bit of cayenne pepper. Yeah, it'll stop bleeding. It'll stop the bleeding of an ulcer. I know it's spicy, but it'll work. Ulcers, cayenne pepper, ginger, and yeah, that's it. Ginger and cayenne pepper and shepherd's purse. It'll stop the bleeding. So crane's bill root, marshmallow root, golden seal root, echinacea, poke root, that will get rid of an ulcer. Do you have a question or a topic? I hear an open mic there in Kentucky. What is your question or your top or your suggestion in Kentucky? Hello. Oh, no question. So I will close your mic there.
Hey, Doc.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Hey, all praise be to the Most High. How you doing?
I am blessed, brother, and I know you are too.
Oh yeah, man. Thank you, man. Thank Prophet Elijah. Thank you, Dr. Miles, and all the people out there, man. I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
How would you recommend using the plant aloe, the aloe plant? How many ways can you?
Well, you can use it topically or aloe vera. You can use it topically or you can use it internally, but you don't want to use it internally for very long. It's habit forming. It causes you to have an easy bowel movement, and when you quit taking it, you're constipated. So it's not the right thing for long-term use. Aloe vera internally is for short-term use. If it starts to cause a dependency, you want to get over on that CAC, colon and liver cleansing liquid, and get off of the aloe vera. But it's very healing to ulcers, to the stomach. It's just a wonderful herb, but it can be habit forming if used to keep the bowel movement soft. That's what I think of ulcers. And topically, it's used for all kinds of infections, burns, wounds. Aloe vera is wonderful topically. So know that, aloe vera is very valuable. And that's how to use it. Yes, go ahead.
Oh no, that's all. I just was curious of how many ways you can use it. Because we were growing some, we just wanted to know what all we can use it for. Because I didn't really know that much. I just thought it could be used for lotion or something. I didn't know.
Right. Yeah. It's used as a lotion topically for all kinds of things. Aloe vera. It's incredible. Let's take a look at some of the uses of aloe. Aloe vera health benefits. Well, they include things like it's an antioxidant, and it's antimicrobial or antibacterial. Antioxidant, antibacterial. It accelerates the healing of burns topically. It reduces dental plaque when you rinse it in your mouth. It's not the best thing. The Oral Care Refresh Brush and Rinse is the best thing you can find out about the teeth and getting rid of plaque. But aloe vera will also help to reduce dental plaque. Aloe vera helps treat canker sores. You know, herpes is a canker sore, and you can dab it on. Aloe vera reduces constipation, but it causes habitual constipation because it's habit forming. So it's not, you don't use it when there's constipation. There are other and better remedies for constipation that aren't habit forming, and it may improve skin and prevent wrinkles. So it's great on the skin for many people. But there are some people who are allergic to it and they get a rash. But very few. Also, by the way, for diabetes, aloe vera lowers blood sugar levels. But there's a lot of benefits, with aloe vera. So those are just a few. Did that answer your question?
Yes, I really appreciate that. And I just want to raise awareness of how many things in your cabinet, like onions, and I know some people keep them in the fridge, but onions and garlic and cayenne, all those things you speak about all the time. But onions in particular, they excite me now. I'm learning so much about onions and dandelion root that is very exciting. So everybody just keep researching it and try to find out these wonderful things that the Most High gave us. And it's just amazing to know that these things really help us. And we don't really need the pharmacy at all.
Absolutely. You're right. You're right. When you find out about natural remedies, you will have a storehouse of natural remedies for you and for your family. You're right.